Hi, I am excited to share with you our new consultant training for team building and how to start building a team. So if you're a brand new consultant, the first thing you do is you start with friends and family. Those people love you, they're willing to help you, they're willing to listen to help you with your training and to earn your pearls of sharing, which we talked about in the training prior to this one. And so after you've done your initial 6 shares, then what? You don't want to hit a wall. So I'm going to talk about how to team build and how to grow your team so you too can move up the career path and get commission checks if you choose to, grow a team, promote yourself up the ladder of success. So first of all, who do you look for? So I typically look for women who want a change. Positive women, put together, their hair is done nicely, they wear makeup, maybe they dress nice. They don't necessarily have to have full makeup to be a good potential customer or team member because we're really about skincare. So keep that in mind as well. One important tip is if you can facial the person before you try to share the opportunity, I think you'll have better results. It can be confusing to someone who's never had a Mary Kay appointment with you to understand what it's like to have a party with 3 to 6 women and that you could make $300 or $400. But if they're at a party or at a facial appointment with you and they see how you share the product, they see you squirting the demos into the tray and telling them how to put it on and take it off, they see you do the closing, they see you use a flip chart, it becomes more doable in their mind and it's easier for them to see and understand when you start talking about, the average party's $350, we make 50%. That's $175 profit in your pocket. That's $80 something an hour. They see it more if you facial them first. So that's a tip. Now there are exceptions to that rule. Sometimes you meet people who've already had a facial maybe in the past, or they're not interested in a facial, but they are interested in the opportunity, and or maybe you have a big goal and you're trying to do a lot of shares really quickly and you could share with someone first. I don't want you to miss someone because you can't schedule an appointment with them, but it is the exception that people sign up before actually trying the product. So, and we don't want to build a business on exceptions. We want to kind of go on the rule, the consistency rule. So as a rule of thumb, you probably are going to want to facial them first. Let's see. So you're going to probably recruit more people from your parties and your facials, display shows and things like that, people that you bring as guests to our Monday night live meetings or Unite events, because they're going to see and hear more about the opportunity there. Also at your parties, there's a whole page in the flip chart about sharing the opportunity, and you show them what comes in the kit. And you also talk, in the very beginning about how you started, just a few, we call it a Cracker Jack talk. It's just a few sentences and it's actually scripted out for you in the flip chart. And if you're not using the flip chart, not the one that came in the starter kit, but the one on our website, I encourage you to do that. If you don't have that one, certainly use the one that came in the kit, but the one on our website just seems to flow better and it has all of this listed out exactly what to say. And the Cracker Jack talk is just something really simple. Hey, my name is Nancy. Prior to Mary Kay, I never would imagine doing something like this. I was a former teacher. I love the flexibility and the income potential that it brings me, and I can't imagine doing anything else. Something really quick, but why you said yes to Mary Kay. And you can always look at every party that you do, look for 1 or 2 people that you think might be good doing what we do. I usually look for the sparkler in the class or party, like someone who's really excited, someone who loves the products, someone who's helping other people or trying to share tips. Maybe they love makeup or skincare. So look for that person. But if you're talking with them one-on-one at the end when you do your close, I ask every single person because I don't know who's looking for something and who's not. So it gives you that opportunity to say, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in Mary Kay or not, but I would just love to share the information with you and get your opinion. Or I'd love to share the information. It helps me with my training. Is there any reason why we couldn't get together? So the next thing is how to ask for that appointment to listen. And I do want to tell you that I kind of just shared that a little bit, but it's really important that you know that we are asking for them to listen. We are not asking them to sign up. I think sometimes people have a mental block because they think, oh, I don't want to ask anybody because I don't want them to feel like I'm twisting their arm or I'm asking them to sign up to do Mary Kay. What we're simply doing is trying to share the information about the opportunity, and then it's up to them whether they want to sign up or not. So in the same token, you don't want to decide for someone. You don't want to think, oh, I'm not going to offer it to her because her husband makes lots of money and she may not be interested. Or I'm not going to ask her because, she didn't want to do a facial. Or I'm not going to ask her because she makes lots of money. Whatever it is, or she's so busy. Stop telling yourself those reasons why and let them tell you why. But don't not offer the opportunity because of some prejudgment that you have. That's taking the opportunity away from them. And honestly, most women do not know that they want to do Mary Kay and become a consultant until they've heard all the facts. Don't you agree? I know I was a no before I sat down and heard everything. And then I was really impressed with what our company has to offer and the way the company works and takes care of us. So you're just asking for them to listen. I always say as part of my script, this may not be for you and that's okay. But we certainly need happy customers too. So I'll let them know. That lets them off the hook and then they're more receptive to hear what you're saying and hear the information. You could also tell them that they could be a talent scout. If they listen and they decide it's not for them, maybe they might know someone else who is looking for something and they could be that talent scout for you. And I always tell my talent scouts, if you refer someone to me and they sign up to be a beauty consultant on my team, I'm going to give you $50 in free Mary Kay. So that's kind of a win-win as well. So the next thing I want to tell you is about the actual interview process. So when you're sharing with someone, you want to first find out about them. So I usually say, tell me a little bit about you. And then I just let them share because I want to hear what is going on with them, what's important to them, and I can kind of figure out what part of our marketing plan might be the most important to that person, whether it's the money or the flexibility or just being their own boss and setting their own hours. Maybe it's the no quotas. So just by her answering the question to tell me about her, it tells me kind of what I need to really highlight when I'm sharing the opportunity. I'm going to share everything, but I'm going to think that those reasons might be more important to her. And if you've ever done a personality study, we do a lot of training with DISC, D-I-S-C, and it talks about the 4 different personality styles and how what would attract each one of those personality styles, how to kind of talk with them better. So that's a whole nother training. And there's a lot of information on that on our website, nancydbeckwith.com, and you'll find that DISC personality information there. But when you are sharing it, if you talk to them for what could relate to them, you're going to have a more receptive person and you're going to be able to answer her questions better. So realize too that it's not for everyone or we wouldn't have anybody to sell to. So don't get disappointed if somebody says no. People are going to say no. It is not for everybody. But the more you share, the more confident you will become. And you're going to get some yeses. Now, I'm a numbers girl, so I like statistics. And the statistics are everything in Mary Kay really breaks down to be about a third. So, if you ask 3 people, you're going to get 1 yes, probably 2 no's. If you have 3 people on your team, you're going to have 1 person who's working and 1 person thinking about working and 1 person who's thinking about not doing Mary Kay anymore. So everything kind of breaks down to about a third, but the numbers in sharing are a little bit different. So at the end of sharing, you always want to ask her opinion and these are some questions that I ask. What appeals to you the most about what I shared? Or of all the facts I shared, what impresses you the most? If you decided to become a consultant, what would your husband say? And I like to ask that because, if they say, oh, my husband would support me, whatever I decided to do, then I know she's not going to come back tomorrow and say, oh, my husband doesn't want me to do this. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of helps alleviate that objection and gets her husband on board. Usually in the company, 1 in 5 people who hear the opportunity say yes. Within our unit, it's just a little bit better. A lot of times it's 1 in 4. So, if you want to get in your red jacket, you need to do 12 to 15 shares, and you should have 3 new team members. And I like that if you know the numbers, you can break down the work and then you're in control of the results because statistics don't lie. Statistics and law of averages work. 2 plus 2 is always 4. People might disappoint you. It may not be the person you think it's going to be, but the numbers will work. So if you work the numbers, you will get the results that you want. So realizing it's not for everybody, I share to make sure that they know everything, and I'm upfront with them. I usually too will in the beginning say, tell me about you, and then I'll say, are there any questions that you have about Mary Kay, the opportunity, before I start sharing with you? Because if they do have a question on their mind and you don't ask them that, then they're going to be thinking of that question the whole time, and they're not really going to be listening to all the other information you're sharing. So that's a great question to ask, and then you can kind of talk about that in the beginning as well. So I ask at the end if there's any reason they wouldn't want to go ahead and fill out their agreement and get started today. And, submit your agreement, get started with your training. That's a great question. It's important that you ask that. If you don't ask that, it's kind of like not closing the sale. It would kind of be like sharing, at a party or facial, sharing the time-wise, letting them try the products, and then not giving them the opportunity to order at the end of the party and just saying, okay, thanks for coming. And we wouldn't do that. So you're not going to do that when you do a share either. And some people are going to need time to think about it. A lot of people do not make the decision right away, and they need time to think about it. I usually do a follow-up within 24 to 48 hours, and that is crucial because otherwise their excitement is gone, or something else comes up and makes that decision for them. Like maybe all of a sudden they need a new tire, and they thought, well, that was going to be my $100 I was going to spend on the starter kit. Or some well-meaning friend or family member talks them out of it, or they hear somebody that used to do it and they don't do it anymore because it didn't work for them or whatever. And hear my heart on this. Mary Kay works when we work it. So there are some people who try it and it doesn't work for them, and maybe they tried and maybe they didn't. Usually they didn't. Usually it's someone who didn't come to meetings or trainings, they didn't go to events, they didn't hold any parties, and that's why they weren't successful. So I want to caution you about that. And if you do have somebody in your life that is giving you that negative stuff, I would just guard myself on how much you share with them, and talk to your recruiter, talk to your director, and we'll help you overcome that negativity for sure. But following up quickly is really important. It's not like getting married or having a baby. They don't need 3 months to think about it. I have started doing sometimes like a little sign-on bonus. If they make a decision within the first 24 hours, then I give them that. And I set an appointment time with them to get back with them within 24 hours for their decision, so that it doesn't just drag out. The next thing I want to talk about is handling your team. But before I go to that, I do want to tell you that one of the best resources that I like to use for sharing the opportunity, there's a couple of fact sheets that I use, and one is called Did You Know? And it's got 2 columns, and one shares facts about the company and the other is reasons why women do Mary Kay. At the bottom, it asks if they're interested in hearing more information, and I usually use that one at events, but you could also use it on a one-on-one share. And then at the end, just ask if there's any reason why they wouldn't want to submit their agreement and get started with their training. Another fact sheet I use is like 19 reasons to do Mary Kay. It's called Why Mary Kay on the top. And if you need either one of these resources, let me know and I can post them on the Facebook page, or I can email them to you so you personally have them and can use them. Okay, so I want to talk to you about handling your team. You have team members, now what? Okay, so together, everyone achieves more. TEAM, together, everyone achieves more. Team, right? So you will achieve more as a team than you will on your own. Once you have team members, I think communication is the most important thing. Staying in contact with your people. Send postcards and say, hey, are you coming to the meeting? Or I can't wait to see you at the Monday meeting, or whatever night your meeting is on. Or, hey, I'm so glad you're on my team. It's just thinking about you. Or I can't wait to see you get your first team member, and I'm in your cheer corner. Just keeping those kind of little love notes. I love getting things in the mail. So I love postcards or little cards, but you could also do text or emails or Facebook messages. Phone calls are great if people have time for a phone call, to just stay in contact and let them know that you're there to help them and support them in their business. You're their mentor. It's their business. We are not responsible for their success or failure. We're just responsible for being there to support them and help them get going. They will need guidance on what to do from you. And they might have, your job is to answer their concerns and get them started with training right away. And really, you can defer them to me as the sales director, to MK University, to the new consultant training hotline that we have, so that they'll feel comfortable knowing what to do. And let them know about the prizes they can earn on their new consultant checklist that comes in their welcome packet from me. It's on our website, but I also send a hard copy. And about their power start and their pearls. Just getting those first few steps in front of them is really important. It is not your job to train them. So you can just take a big deep breath. I've talked to people in the past who said, oh my goodness, I don't want to add anybody to my team because I wouldn't know how to train them. It's not your job to train them. It's my job to train them, okay? So we have all of that in place, but just to share and say, hey, I think you might be really good at this and I'd love to have you on my team. That's your job, just to share the information. And again, that script would be, Amy, I don't know if this would be anything you'd ever consider doing, but I would really love to share the information with you. And if you decided it was something you wanted to do, I think you might do really well. And if you don't, that's okay too. I mean, we need customers and I love you either way. But is there any reason why you wouldn't let me just share the information with you? Or is there any reason why we couldn't do a 3-way call with my sales director? That is what you would want to say to help them to just listen. Remember, we're just asking them to listen to the information to help you with your training. So meetings are optional, and you can tell your team members that, but the ones who show up, go up. And that, I know it's cliche-ish, but it's so true. If you show up, you go up, because you're surrounded by other people who are working on the same goals, who are like-minded, who are trying to move up. And the meetings provide training, motivation, inspiration, recognition, prizes, and more. And you come up with a little bit of a esprit de corps, a bond between you and your sister consultants. Invest time in your team because you do have shared values and common goals, and you can lead the way in showing them how the business works. Excuse me. And you want to show them how it's going to work for their individual needs. It's not about you. It is a gift that we give away. Another thing that you want to do, especially if you're, building a team, is you want to do a debut party for them, for your new team member. It's to help them. It's a win-win situation, because whatever you give into the life of others comes back into your own. Okay, and that's a Mary Kay quote. But if you do a debut party, it can be done in a couple of ways. One is a display show where they can set out their inventory. People come, you don't actually do facials. You're just going to do like a satin hands, and you're going to show some products, maybe pass around a couple things they can demo on the back of their hand. Everybody eats, you take orders, and it's fun. And you book her first few parties to get her going on her power start. You also share the information, so you set up her pearls of sharing shares with her. Another way to do her debut is to actually do a skincare class party. And that would be where you have 3 to 6 women or more, and you come in and you do the facials for her using the flip chart to show her how to do that. And I recommend, that's the real business. So if you don't know a lot of people, it's better to start that way. If you know a lot of people, it's better to start the other way, where you can get 10, 15, 20 people together, and then you have an opportunity to go ahead and book that power start and have some great sales and get some potential team members in the beginning. The other way, you're doing 3 to 6 faces. You're getting her started on her power start. You're going to book from those and offer hostess gifts for those who show up, and you can still share the opportunity and get people that way as well. So either way is a wonderful way, but you do want to help your team member get started. And usually within the first couple of weeks, if you can get her started in the first couple of weeks, it's better. You don't want to wait 3 months before you do a debut party with someone, because then she's less excited already. And Mary Kay says that you would never want to recruit anyone that you wouldn't want to sleep with at seminar. And that's so funny, you guys. Mary Kay had such a big sense of humor. One thing that everybody thinks she was this meek little grandma, sweet lady, but she ruled with an iron fist, but she had a velvet glove. So she was very soft-spoken about what she said, but she always encouraged you to take the next step and to move forward. And she had a great sense of humor. So what she meant by this was, would you be proud to introduce her to Mary Kay? Now, I'm not saying prejudge anybody, because we never know who could take advantage of this opportunity and run with it. And it doesn't matter how cute you are, or how many degrees you have, or how smart you are, or who your dad is. None of that stuff matters. It just matters your effort and what you do with the opportunity. Because what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. But I wouldn't recruit someone that you wouldn't be proud of to introduce to your director or to Mary Kay herself. So I want you to think about that as you're looking through who you want to share with. And I just share that because I know when I first started, I wanted to save the world. I thought we had the best opportunity, and we really do, on the market. But I was trying to save people, and that it was not the right people, you guys. So you do want to look for target market women who maybe have some education, women who maybe are married, who maybe rent or own their own home. Maybe they have children, those kinds of people. Someone who's had success in something already, even if that's success in their 4-H club in high school, but someone who's had success in something those are the people that you kind of want to look for. So thank you for listening to me today. I hope this has helped you with getting started on team building. If you will reach out to me, I will post or email you those documents that you need, the Did You Know sheet and the 19 Reasons Did You Marry Kay. And remember, I am here to do shares with you and get you going started on your team. Have a blessed day.